electron devices and photonics. Paul discussed with John Gozy to add ED Photonics as an additional sponsor for the humanitarian engineering outreach presentation that he gave, that they helped fund the project. Gozy agreed. He sent an email to IEEE help desk on this. He advised that he will be completing the L31 report on the program. He's planning an international conference here in Columbus in August 2021. IEEE is setting up an international website. He's seeking IEEE Columbus help for this conference with poster sessions and a K-12 students on STEM. Engineering, medicine, biology, no report. Power energy sign on reported PES held on October 27th. Program was on transmission planning fundamentals from PJM perspective by Jared Marker. PE 41 in attendance. Sending a request for nominations for PES awards: Outstanding Engineer, Outstanding Young Engineer, and Outstanding Volunteer for PES Society. PES will have a workshop on interconnections of renewable and energy storage on grid electric that will be held December 4th from 3 to 6:30 p.m. Keynote speakers, AEP CEO and IEEE PES President-elect, and speakers from industry, consultants, and universities. Will be transitioning to new PES officers January 1, 2021. PES advisor, no report. Signal processing, no report. State circuits and systems, joint societies, no report. Young professionals, no report. Women in engineering, Helen reported that YP and section may have a joint meeting in November, December on lighting controls and zoo lights. All right, going down. IEEE student branches, DeVry Online, OU, Ohio State University, no reports. Ohio State University graduate program, Paul Berger reported that the graduate students are all registered, have new officers going through training and creating goals. He wanted to have a meeting with a quorum of the new officers. He would like them to consider having a university-wide event at the student union, and the university would help pay for the event. Wayne State, no report. Columbus State, no report. Old business over the table where they got guidelines for IEEE Columbus section audit on June 11th, 2020. New business none, meeting adjourned at 8:14. Motion made and approved. Oberdorf and Schrock moved to adjourn. Respectfully submitted by Howard Jones, Secretary. Are there any corrections that need to be made? Any comments?
Hello, everyone. This is Carl. I'm apologizing for being late. I had a new computer set up. It was a little difficult, so I apologize. But if there are no comments, I would like at this time to entertain the motion to receive the minutes as Howard read them. Can I get a motion on the floor?
I second the motion.
Who made the motion?
To approve the, Helen, motion to approve the minute.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Ian seconds.
Okay, Ian, thank you.
So should I go on, Howard, or are you guys want? I don't know what happened before I got here.
Just a quick reminder to everybody: when somebody makes a motion, if you say your last name, who makes a second, say the last name. I'm not looking at that. I'm trying to write stuff down, and I'm missing who's actually saying it. I can't recognize everybody's voice. Thank you.
Okay, so Helen, did you want me to go on? Or Howard? I mean, I came a little late. I don't know what happened.
Yeah, so we will move forward. So I think the minutes is carried and approved, so we can go to the agenda and start with the chair's report for you, Carl.
Okay, first of all, I'll be brief with the thanking everybody. You know how often I done it. I mean it for working with the last 2 years with me and having patience with me as I learned the process along and tried to help it along. I hope that I did enough of a job to leave Helen something. I mean, if, I'm sure it's Helen. Um, to go forward on. And I just want to thank everybody. Everybody. It's been a great group of people, and it's been a privilege and an honor. Also, real quick, I appreciate everybody who came to the site project meeting, which we had on December the 5th. I think it went very well. I think it flowed really good, especially in the time of COVID, and I really appreciate that. And the weather was nice, and it was just a beautiful group there. Aside from that, I would like to start with the election committee report. On voting. Is it in yet, Helen?
Can you repeat, Carl? Do you want to announce the election
Yes.
report? Okay, go ahead.
No, I would like y'all to. I don't know it, but I'm pretty sure. But I don't want to speculate.
Oh, I believe Ben and the tellers committee sent that to you, but I guess I can share it. Do you have that email, Ian?
Are you talking
Hello,
to?
Ian?
Yeah, I have it.
Are you,
Just give me a second. I just
are
had to
you-
move where it was.
Are you talking
Oh,
to me?
okay.
No, she's
Um,
asking for the report, the teller's report.
How
So
you
I'm
doing?
gonna pull that up.
Okay.
Hold up.
Well, I guess we don't want to show the numbers and so forth.
I just gotta find Helen's last email.
well, we don't have to do that, Ian. I can just
May I-
share.
may I-
Do you,
why don't you?
Ben?
Yes. Why don't I go ahead and
Do you-
mention it just quickly? All right.
Okay.
So anyhow,
Okay.
on behalf
So-
of the, go ahead, please. Helen, what?
No, go ahead, Ben. You can announce it.
Okay. Anyhow, on behalf of the let's see, voting and teller committee consisting of John Gorsey, Ian, and Ben Miravan. All right. So the election of the officers, Columbus section officers for 2021, 2022 are we have for the chair, Helen Winfrey, for the vice chair, Paul Berger, for the secretary, Howard Jones, and for the treasurer is Danielle. My apologies, I cannot say the last name. Helen, help me out. Helen, the last name of Danielle, could you?
Chinoma?
Is it Chinoma? Chinoma?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Chinoma. So we are very happy to announce the winners, as I mentioned, for the next 2 years. Congratulations to the new officers, and we wish them good luck. Thank you very much.
Yes, looking forward to working for you guys.
Ben, I'm sorry, I didn't hear the vice chair.
But the vice
You were
chair,
breaking up.
Yeah, Ben, you were breaking up. You were breaking up a lot, Ben.
who, me? Am I? I am on. You can hear me, right?
Yes, but every once in a while you break up.
Yeah. The results were Helen Winfrey for chair. Um, Paul Berger for vice chair. Daniel Shinoma for I'm sorry, not secretary, treasurer, and Howard Jones for secretary. Those were the final results.
Thank
Great.
you.
Great.
Mhm.
And I just wanted to do what Ben already did, was to congratulate everyone and again thank everybody for allowing me to have the privilege and the honor to learn and work with children. That's the administration that I had was as great, was really great, really great, the learning process. As far as the next report that I'll be giving is the site report. It was a great event we had on December the 5th, as far as I was concerned, for informing everyone on exactly what was going on and how we're doing it and what we are looking to do. There are still some areas of concern for me, and that is funding and how much funding we get. So we have signed the MOU since we've had that meeting, but yet we put in the MOU that we wouldn't be expending any funds until we have 50% of each phase. And so what I have emailed Josh and Daniel to request the $5,000 that was awarded for the electronics equipment that is dealing with the PLCs. And I have sent it to the site committee, the exact itemized list of the expenditures, and they approved them. And so I'll be sending that to Josh. I just talked to Josh. We talked 2 or 3 times today on email. And so I'll be seeking that funding going through the Concord process. And that $5,000 plus we have a startup for the site program, which all of that, because it's a lot more than 5,000 that we're purchasing, but that's what they added to it. And we'll probably put in for, they stated that we could put in for the next 5,000 next year, because of course this is December and everybody's closing out. I think that's it. Let me look over here on my sheet. Oh yeah, I have to, one of the last duties that I have to make sure that happens is to make sure we get the R2 quarterly 4 report in, to make sure that we get our 10% funding and budgeting. And that should be it. Thank you again. And at this time, Helen, welcome as our chair, Madam Chair. And really looking forward to that. So
All right. Thank you, Carl. Yeah.
Any report?
Yes, I've completed the vitality report for the year, so we should be okay with that.
All right.
And I'm working with Tom Timcho, our new senior member, and he's, I'm pretty sure he said that you and him had been maybe introduced through email on the Smart Columbus project. Yes. So I have asked him to do some presentation on connected vehicles and electric vehicles in February timeframe. So he agreed to do that. And maybe in the fall, he will do some kind of security and data management for the Smart Columbus. So I have that schedule, and I think just, wrapping up the end of the year admin stuff for the section. That's pretty much all I have. And
And as far as that smart city community, I am probably around February after we have that event. I need to get 12 members to join, and we're going to start a smart city community here if it is approved. And that's what Tom and I are talking about, the processes for doing that, and it's going to be exciting to me.
yeah, so that's probably we're going to add in the new item to discuss, because you're looking into creating a smart city community, as well as Meyer Ross. He was also discussing about creating the TEMS, which is the Technology Management Society. So right now they actually have about 8 members already in this section. And they just need, maybe 4 more, but we will see. He's not in the meeting tonight, so I may have to double check with him on where he's going to be on that, his plan, whether he wants to go forward and try to create that. My main concern is we just don't want to have too many societies, and then we can't manage the activities very well.
Right. I'm primarily getting a lot of students from OSU who are already working with Smart Columbus prototypes. But as chair, I didn't want to conflict anything. So until that society is, it's not a society, but the community is worked out. That's probably that, and controls systems, they kind of work together. So
Yes.
thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Question, Ellen. Tom, what was the last name?
TIMCHO. Timcho.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm glad you pronounced it for me.
Helen, what society they're trying to form? One more time.
It's Technology Engineering Management.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
And that's Myers, right?
That's correct.
Myers Russ. I think Russ is how you pronounce his last name. I might have messed up the name. Any other questions for Helen? So I think it's time for the treasurer's report, and Josh is on. How you been, Josh? How's the family? Pretty sure I saw him.
He's on. He's just muted.
Josh is muted.
Yeah, it's not letting me unmute him. Josh, you there? I see you're on, but I can't get.
Josh said he can't talk.
He can't talk.
Yes.
Well, he's muted.
Oh.
Is his
Okay.
muter not working?
So at this time, we have no report. He might be something going on where he's at. He might be in school, ain't no telling. On the job, I kind of understand that he might be in a situation where he can't speak. If it's possible, he can probably come on somewhere down the line. And if not, we don't have a
We can
chat.
come back to that.
Yeah, do we have a chat, Ian?
A chat window to where you can talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a chat window.
So if anything is
Can
real,
you, Josh, to everyone. Josh, I can't talk. You can't seem to hear me. Yeah, Josh, I think. Are you not able to hit the unmute button? Yeah, hit unmute.
Guess not.
There, like I could tell he's on his phone, judging by that icon, but I don't see see where he's having a conflict.
He said it did not matter. Try talking in the beginning. It did not matter. Try talking in the beginning.
It did
Okay,
not
well,
matter.
yeah, um,
I
yeah,
didn't even. I've never seen his thing unmuted. This thing's never been unmuted.
Well, maybe he can't do it.
he's
Muted.
unmuting now. He's unmuting now. Yeah, he put it on the chat.
He's got a bug. Josh, can you call in? Do you know? The call-in number should be in the email, I believe. Gosh darn it! I hate this window.
And as Howard said, we'll move along, and if Josh can get in, we'll add in that report. Then is that okay with you, Howard?
That's okay. I think he needs to be on. I assume he's going to present a budget tonight.
He's got something to present because we got this thing here, and wait, yeah, we got that, and this was recently sent in the email. So
Right.
whatever these things are, they're sitting on hold until he can get himself unmuted. But he needs to. I'm trying to pull up the email from Helen to see if we got the if the phone numbers were in there, so I can have that sit on display so you can try calling in instead of using the app.
There it is.
There we go. So Josh, use the use one of these and then use that access code below. I wish it would let me just highlight one thing instead of highlighting everything. There we go. So Josh, just end your current chat right now and just do a complete dial in if you can, because apparently your phone doesn't want to unmute, or else disconnect from the meeting and reconnect with your phone. Like, give it a try. But for now, just move on until he has that figured out.
Okay, so we'll go into the professional society. Saul is the membership development and sections.
Actually, I just can't think of anything I can offer right now. If someone has some suggestions, I'll be happy to entertain them, but just nothing. I can't think of anything for membership.
Well, Saul, I have some suggestions that me and Dr. Berger are working with to try to grab a lot more students when the spring comes. And I told him I could work with you to do presentations at the beginning of their trimesters, because we're all online now at OSU. And we're working with Tawfiq, Masood, and the graduation and the seniors, and the ECE, which is Electronic Computers Engineering group that we have there. We're going to try to increase that group, but we're also going to be grabbing a lot more students. And when we go into the Smart Columbus group dealing with AEP, have some things down the road that I have to run by Helen to see how we're going to work that. And I plan on getting really involved in increasing the membership in Columbus.
Okay.
If it's okay with everyone, of course.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
Ben,
think tomorrow.
Go ahead.
Tomorrow I think the MGA is running another membership meeting.
Yeah.
Yep. But so I think I need to sign up into that. But
Yeah, I'm already signed into that, so yes. And they sent me a disc to deal with different presentations, but one is corporate and one is dealing with student interviews. So of course I'm going to coordinate that with Dr. Berger and everybody in Tawfiq up at OSU for the students. There's Mandy Bishop. She is the director of Smart Columbus. And they have quite a few engineers and programming developers that when I think I've been showing them that the smart cities community in IEEE has quite a bit of information for them in as far as smart cities. They've been working with smart cities all over the country since 2002. So lessons learned, they have a lot of lessons learned that I have seen them fumbling through here because I work with them in Smart Columbus, but I wasn't in a position to jump up and say, hey, you can go, sometimes you just don't have a platform to tell somebody they can get something straight. You just be quiet, you know. And so I stayed in my lane, but now they're expanding and we have a new contract in January where they want me to move more into data analytics. And so that'll help. And that's my company, Information Technology Management Control Teams. We do data analytics consultants and social data analytics for Smart Columbus. They're just talking about renewing the contract in January, but we might have to negotiate. I'm not sure if they're cutting down the budget. Anyway, those are things for membership that I have in mind, but now I have a lot more abilities to do things without looking like I'm just trying to beef up something, you know. But I truly believe what I'm saying. I'm positive that if they get into IEEE, it will greatly enhance the technology in this city. I'm positive about that. Okay, so Josh is still, it says we'll work on it, okay?
Uh,
Can you
Josh,
hear me?
yep, I hear you.
Howard?
That was Josh talking.
Okay.
He's on.
Treasurer's report.
So yeah, I did send CBRS reports to Ian. That's what you're looking at there for the current. Nothing's happened in December so far, other than the interest that was paid, I think out in the beginning of the month. And then I also sent a CBRS report to him for last month, November. So that'll show the beginning and ending balance. There was two things that went through the new concur last month. That was the work from Paul Burgess for his South America water treatment plant stuff that he's doing with
OSU.
yeah, integrated circ. I think he does the ESD stuff. So that's where that money came from. And then also Young Professionals with Colleen came out last month, and those were both done through Concur. So it's working. I got Helen's today. I have to log on and approve Helen's connection or Concur application. Reimbursement. I also, Helen, since you are the new chair, I will send you the forms you have to fill out to be a signator on the account. And you will have to send those in. And then we will also have to process Daniel because that takes a little bit because you have to mail them in. There might be an email. I have to look. I might have emailed mine in, but I'm pretty sure you have to mail one of them in because it's the signature card. So we'll have to work on that to get you and Daniel signed up on the account. And then we will also have to process people off the account as well. How that all plays out because Howard's on it now. I think there's a couple old treasures we need to get off there as well. And I also have that form that needs to be filled out, and then I will obviously come off. And that switchover will happen. I have not heard from Daniel, so I emailed him. I know he just had a baby a couple months ago, but I have not heard from him since then. It's probably been a little over a month since I've heard from him, and we were supposed to try to get together and get all the budget stuff worked out. It is really not my budget. Like, I mean, I can propose the last budget and get that pulled over, but he was gonna do different stuff and come up with his own system. So I wanted him to do that, but I have not heard from him since October, I think.
So Josh,
October, the beginning of November.
when Howard and you and I resign from the signature process, do we have to do anything, or does it automatically happen?
No, that's what I was talking about. I don't actually think, Carl, you were ever put as a signator on the account.
Well, when Concord comes up, they send me information for approval or not.
I think that's just because you are the chair, and that's usually the typical two that are on it. I
Okay.
don't think they went off of the signature card that's on the account.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, I can email them and find out actually who is all on the account. They sent it to me when I first was put on. And there's probably people that need to come off of there.
Okay.
But yes, that's a form that is also filled out along with it to remove people from the list. If you don't remove them, they'll just stay there forever.
Okay, well, good. Howard's been on there forever, haven't he?
Probably, yes.
Any questions?
About the audit, I mean, if you want to talk about that now, I guess I can wait until the audit stuff. Howard, I got your email. I'm working on stuff. I'm actually pulling the checks from CBRS and copies of them and all that stuff. I didn't know I could do that until just recently, that they actually put the checks on CBRS so I can get a picture of them so they can actually tie what it was being done to and all that stuff. The checks that you put in the system, I think were all done before I put in the form system. So that's why they fell through the cracks. I do have most of those, I think, were Maker X, and that's why they probably weren't looking in the right area for them. And that I should move, they should be in both places. So I'll move them and I'll get them all packaged together and send them off to you as soon as I can.
Now, Heidinger and Associates are looking for that information. I've sent you 3 notices about it, to getting the information from them. They're waiting on it. They can't go any further without that because they had nothing on it. And I thought when I sent you the first notice and highlighted it, that you'd get it done. Now it's been a couple of months. I don't understand why we can't give the receipts and invoices to them that tie to those checks. Don't you have that?
Well, like I said, that was in the transition of 2019. Yes, I probably have it all. It's probably there. It's just figuring out what check goes with what stuff. Like I was saying, I have the CBRS reports. I found out I can actually pull an image of the check numbers. So I have to go through each CBRS report and find those check numbers and when they were cashed and pull that check and actually have an image of it and know what I put in the memo of what it went towards or what it was for. And then I can go try and track down any of the invoices. The reason that those invoices were different is because that was before I implemented the Google form system that I had that kept those all in the same place. So that's what I'm doing, and it's taking me a little longer than I have because I'm also doing other stuff. I'm trying to get our year-end report done because that needs to be done for February, and I'm trying not to just dump all this stuff on Daniel. And again, I haven't heard from Daniel, so he's going to be your new treasurer, and he's kind of fell off the face of the map, which I understand. Kids do that. I know he said that his wife was going into labor soon after I talked to him last time. We were supposed to set up times to talk. and times to deal with this stuff and times to transition. And that hasn't happened. So, I mean, I'm doing the best I can with the time I have. I'm one person and I have life, and I've been working 50-hour weeks at work. So I have less time now than I did before. So
You're still in school too, aren't you, Josh?
I
What do you,
postponed school with all the stuff I'm going. I don't start till January now. I took this semester off.
let me ask a question then, Josh. What do you want me to tell Ollinger when you'll give him the information? Or when do you want to tell him you'll give him the information?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I tried to do before, is take out the middleman. I will work with them. And some of the information they already have, they just don't know where to look for it. And I don't understand what they see on their side because I'm giving them links to documents that are in Google Drive. So I tried to consolidate all those documents and package them either in PDFs or spreadsheets or whatever and send them off that way instead of giving them access. So it would be better if they had access to see them in the way that I see them, and I can explain where stuff is.
I don't know how you want, I don't know how you want to do it. All I'm saying is that the issues they've got is that if they have to go dig all that out because you didn't provide it, it's going to cost us a lot of money because they got to go search for it. And they're saying they documented what they could with what they found. And we got a whole bunch of receipts that are not tied to a thing. They gave us
No,
a
they
whole
are.
bunch of receipts and they're not tied to anything.
No, they are tied to something. That's the problem, is they're not seeing the spreadsheet that ties them to the system
Then
the way I see the spreadsheet.
why didn't you take your stuff and give it to them so they could look at it? That's what we asked you to do. You didn't do that. I'm just
I
saying.
did do that. I did it to the best of my ability. I did give one of the people up there access, the original person that you've been dealing with the start. Now there's three other people or two other people that need access. So I don't know how she's dealing with it. You wanted all the information. So I tried my best to get it all into a form and zip it up and send it to you as data in sheets. Now, how that stuff came out and how those links work, I don't know. That's not how it's supposed to be done. That's what I'm saying. We kind of need to come together as a group and have a working system and methods to deal with all this information. That's why I've tried to push people to use Google Docs and use Google Drive and put all the stuff there and let's streamline it and let's make a system so this runs a lot more smoother. I can't,
Hi, Josh.
I mean,
Josh, this is Helen. If you have all this information, maybe we need to get a few people to get together and look it over. So, we can have multiple eyes to look it up and see. Maybe we need to do a list of what they wanted and kind of go through and check it off, like a checklist of what they want. Since you seem to have put together the items, and like Howard said, we don't want them to be searching for things because that's going to cost more money, and then they're going to get frustrated, and we're frustrated. So it may be the solution is that we just need a couple people to look over the data and go through the checklist. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. And I'm basically doing the digging now. That's why it's taking me longer. So I make sure that this doesn't happen again and I give them the information that they need. I found most of the invoices or receipts based on what it was of the check for most of them. There's still some that I'm working on. I haven't got to it. Again, I'm one person and I have a lot of stuff that has to happen. And that's what I was trying to do, is create systems that this doesn't happen anymore. So we have an audit system. All the information for the audit goes into a folder, goes into a, has processed through a budgeting system, and I don't even have that started. Daniel was working on that. He supposedly had a spreadsheet and stuff like that that can help with the budget and help with seeing what's coming in and going out. I was trying to get other stuff figured out, and again, I can only do so much. That's I was handed a box of stuff and said, here you go. Like, that's what I was handed. That's why I implemented my form and online form. So I mean, I can only do so much. Most of those checks were written before the online form, so they're paper stuff, and I have to go back through and make sure that they got put in the right area. I probably didn't.
Okay, so what do you need? What do you need from the section to help to help getting these finished?
I mean, it's just going through and finding the checks in the CBRS reports.
Okay,
Actually,
because I
Howard
think
should be able to access the CBRS reports because he's the signer on the. So his account should be linked to CBRS too.
Didn't you say it was all in Google Docs one time, Josh? Is all
I tried to put most of it there. There might have been some stuff that was kind of we need to go through the Google Docs because the way the previous treasurer put all this stuff in there is not very conducive to finding the things I need most of the time. So I was trying to come up with my own system. I didn't do that very well. But I need input. I guess that's one thing is we need people to get on Google Docs and that would help, like figure out how to use it, know how to use it, know how to put stuff in there, because really we should have all of I don't know if Howard, you're putting all the meeting minutes. They should have a place in there. So if Howard isn't around, we know where to go get them all and have a place for them and have a repository of them.
We should be able to do some search queries on Google Docs. If we know what we're looking for, we should be able to do some search queries and find it pretty readily.
Well, and that's a naming system and a tagging system and all of that type of stuff. So that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be refined and systems need to be built. What I need from the chapter is help with that. Like, I can pull all the CBRS reports and put them in there, but if you don't know what you're looking at or what you're going to look for, it's hard to explain that over the phone. It's hard to show you what this like where to go and get those things. So I mean that's why I try to put it all there. I want to be as open and transparent as possible.
So
Most of the documentation is there.
The first thing we would need, Howard, seems to me to be missing receipts. From what? What does not have receipts? And then we can do it.
I don't know. There's about what 6 or 7 checks that they couldn't find the receipts or the invoices for that correlated with them. And again, the way the form works is all of the uploaded receipts and stuff just go into a folder. So the only place they're linked is on the spreadsheet that the form fills out with a link showing which receipt goes with which check. Because the check numbers I try to put in there. Because these were all handwritten checks, remember?
And I remember Howard said there's some receipts that don't match up with expenditures too. So,
no, they have checks, but they don't see they don't see the check in the receipt linked. And that's probably because there's sometimes that there was 3 or 4 checks going to one person, or 3 or 4 things going to one person, and they all went out on the same check. So I didn't write 3 different checks and mail them out. I mailed one check with all 3 items on it.
That's what I'm trying to stop with the site project. I just want to make that simple so that doesn't happen again. Yeah.
Josh, I want to just make a comment. You're right. There's 7 checks that I sent you which said had no receipts. And those are generally the big checks. We're talking about several big checks. And in there, I don't know, $2,000 and $3,000. So there's no invoice tied to those at all. And that's what I'm talking about. Those checks, and there's a few that don't even have any description on, a couple of them don't say what the description is, but the rest of them have something on it. But there's no invoice to tell, and it might cover a number of invoices or receipts. I understand that, but there's not a single one linked to it at all. And that's what I was asking you to do. I went in CBRS and I pulled those checks out, and look, I have a copy of them that I made because they have that copy too, but they couldn't find any invoices, or that's all I'm saying. We need those
Yeah,
tied together, and there's 7 checks that are there, and then discuss the rest of the receipts that they've got, a couple pages of receipts that are not tied to a thing. They're just individual receipts that they found and made a copy of and sent it. That's all. We can go through that. That's what I said. We needed to set up a meeting and go through some of this. And you never called back and said we could do it or when. So I'm just,
I
okay.
have not heard anybody try to get a meeting together. I said I would be willing to meet. I'm fine with that. Tell me when and where, and I'll be there if I can. Or I'll tell you I can't be
Now
there,
wait
and
a
we
minute.
can figure out another time.
Okay.
So, so you
We're
want me
looking for
to
you.
initiate the
We're
meeting?
asking you to set a time where you,
Um, Howard, you got muted somehow.
So what about this time next week? Too soon?
all I was saying is you say when you can meet, and we'll try to get everybody around your date, because that is what needs to be done. You're the guy with the information. None of us have it all. So I expected
All right.
you to say when you wanted to meet.
I didn't know that. That is not what I heard. That's on my list now. I will send you an email and I will tell you the times and the dates I have open.
Beautiful.
No
Okay.
problem. I was also trying to get Daniel in on that so we could use that and he can understand what's going on, but I haven't heard from him. So, again, it's, yeah, I mean,
Okay.
that's fine. No problem. I can do that now that I know what's expected.
Okay.
Carl, is that your
Those
computer
were
making all that noise?
Yeah, my fault. James, you have any input? I think James Reed. I think he's unmuting now.
I don't know what's up with the muting system today because it's acting funky.
Carl, go down the list. I'm trying to take notes.
No, I'm talking about in the
There
chat.
it is.
In the
Am I
chat.
back?
We'll get the audit.
Am I back?
Okay. So are there any?
Am I there?
Yes, you're back. But did you have any questions for Josh? I didn't want Howard said
No,
wait for your
I'm sort of on the fringe. I'm history. So once they get all these transactions and the outside auditors are happy, I did supply a little spreadsheet tonight, which I'll just talk ahead to my thing, which is no biggie. And what I'll do is just grind those through there, and hopefully we'll start to see some consistency of wrapping this up. I do point out that we're sort of missing 17, 18, and 19 at this point, and 20's on the horizon, which is going to have a special problem because they put that concur in at the end of the year.
Okay, so we'll wait for your report. Howard is keeping his notes in order, and I didn't want to jump ahead of him.
Okay.
So we'll come down. I just wanted to know if you had any questions or concerns about what we were discussing with Josh. Maybe you want to be in on that meeting that they're setting up. Did you want him to put you on the list for the invite?
They can put me on the list. I don't know what's going to happen next week. We're sort of getting into the holiday here, but I'll certainly consider it.
Okay, great. So, Josh, are you concluded at this time?
Yep. Howard, you won't have to deal with me much longer, so you'll be happy.
Me either, Howard. But I'm still gonna be trying to get some information from you. I know I bug Howard a lot. Anyway, I appreciate you, Howard. I really do. I'm glad you had 10 kids. You know how to deal with a grown man. Amen. Excuse me, amen. That's a habit. Let me see. So we did the membership development. So Howard, are we going to start back on track there and go with Ben with professional activities chair report? Is that where you would like to continue?
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
So Ben.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mine is very brief. Since well, no new PACE activities since our last meeting in October. Like Dr. Berger gave a presentation to us to a joint meeting of PACE, Columbus section, DeVry, as well as PES. So we don't have any activities since October. And we are hoping, of course, for more activities next year, at least, one presentation, PACE presentation for the first, 3 months, 4 months of 2021. That's all I have to present. Any questions?
So if there's no questions, Josh is the educational activities chair. You and Dr. Berger and Ian had discussed some possibilities that I want to get involved in. So I want to know how we can go forward on some of that, because with the educational activities chair thing, we are incorporating, but I'm waiting for my report, but I want to bring my society in with this funding to work with these students and these STEM kids at the Boys and Girls Club. So I'm just throwing that out there, Josh, for your report. And me and Dr. Berger are talking about it. We're discussing it. So, Josh, any envisions for what you're getting ready to do for 21?
There are some stuff on the horizon. Again, I have to reach out, and I've been trying to focus on treasury stuff than education. So I will like getting back to more of the education stuff come January. But I am interested in trying to see about a program that they had developed, and I still think it would be beneficial at the education board, of trying to get companies to adopt a STEM class with different high schools around the city. So we pair up Helen, maybe you can get Metler Toledo on board and get some engineers that would like to help out a STEM school and a STEM program. And usually you talk about adopting a class, and there's have webinar, have these types of WebExes, or they have a system set up that's more secure and more kid friendly and all that type of stuff. So looking to bring that in, and partnering maybe with AEP engineers and some of the corporations that's brought into IEEE because of its members, to look into doing that. And I still think it works because, even in the time of COVID, most of it's done virtually. So they don't even have to be in the area. They do mostly virtual stuff and talk and give them pointers, and they can actually help develop that out. So that's something that I would be interested in bringing, and something I would really like to focus on in 2021. I found, and I don't know if that's changed, I have to reach out to my STEM, a lot of the STEM activities and events that were put on around Columbus were canceled this year, so I didn't get to, you know, mingle with all the STEM teachers and STEM program leaders in Central Ohio, and actually further. Um, so anyways, looking at curriculum, like when I started talking to them and all that stuff, they didn't need curriculum. They needed engineers to come along and support. So I really think that that was, you know, coming up with problems, coming up with helping kids understand the engineering process, you know, and how to solve problems as an engineer. And that's what they were really looking for. Um, so yeah, just working alongside them and getting in touch with them would be a big bonus because they all need something a little different.
And Helen, before you interject, because I hope you could bring in that AEP that we were going to talk about. I want you to know, Josh, that IEEE has an IEEE cricket mentoring program where we are working with industries, working with mentors, with STEM students, and one-on-one things. They get adopted to different industries. And I'm meeting with a lady named Dana this week and next week, but I told her after this meeting, after I talk with you and Helen and Ian and Paul Berger, where we're gonna come, they're gonna come alongside with us on that, and that's already an IEEE cricket media program already initiated. So I'm trying to see where we can collaborate and coordinate all of this together. So Helen, you had spoke last week about some AEP STEM funds.
Yes, because they pledge, I think it's $1,500 for the next 3 years to our section, and I believe they already given us the 1,500 for this year, and the following
Correct.
year should follow. So
And
that's
with
something
Maker
that we
X,
can,
it kind of
yeah.
went, yeah, with Maker X, it kind of went well because that's what IEEE pledged to support Maker X, and that was all in a STEM event. So it kind of, we had a big event that we were tied to, but I have not heard about Maker X in a while. I haven't heard from any of the board members, and I know Bill Ball is gone. He is in New Hampshire, I'm pretty sure, still.
Well, Evelyn is kind of waiting to hear what we're going to do, Josh, but we'll talk about it. You know, that was the other one working with Bill.
Yeah, I know.
This is Howard. I have a comment. Helen, they only gave us $1,500 each year. They just told me that I got a note today. They said to avoid all the problems we had last year with the IEEE, where we sent it to headquarters and all that. And I said, well, we can send it locally. And he said he doesn't know whether the check's coming out before the end of the year or the first year, but he wants the name and address of where he's to send the check so he can put it in. We may not have to write anything. We would get the $1,500 for next year. So tonight, I need to give him, do we send it to Josh right now? But then at the end of the year, it switches. And if it comes next year, it would still go to Josh. I'm not sure how to do that. Or do we send it to Daniel? He and Josh can get the money in, or if it comes this year or next year, then it would come in and Daniel would go. I don't care, but I'd like to know which way we want to go.
I think in the moment it needs to go to Josh. I mean, we can always change over next year. When we do that, just give them the proper information.
The problem will be he'll put that in, and if they don't issue it this year, when it comes next year, I would have to try to get it in. I won't know when they're going to issue it. So
It's all right. The deposits are not that big of a deal. I mean, there's really a deposit slip here. I actually was going through them and I need to pull them and take a picture of them to put in the system because that was one of the audit issues It's a paper thing. They have I have a book that I just write a deposit slip and put it in the mail. So even if it comes next year, I can still do that. That's not a big issue. We have more deposit slips than we know what to do with and
Okay.
have. So don't worry about that.
And they're probably going to want to get it in before the year is up due to fiscal tax
If
issue.
if you send it to me or if I get it, I will I can deal with it and I'll let Daniel know I dealt with it and then it'll show up on CBRS and all that stuff. So
That's fine.
I don't plan on moving anytime soon and I'm still going to be a part of IEEE, so not a big deal.
Right.
We can handle that.
Okay. I will let them know about that. I mean, I'll give them your name as IEEE section treasurer, care of you at your home address. Is that okay?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, are there any more questions or comments dealing with the educational activities?
Nope.
Okay, if not, Ian, I believe you may, I'm not sure. This would be up to Helen, but I think Anupam may not be the webmaster anymore. In the last 2 years that I was chair, I've only probably got to speak to him maybe 4 times.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we should, it's up to Helen, but I see his name is always on the list. And so what's your report?
Nothing really new to report except I was going to add Conquer to the website, but I did not receive a link from Josh. So Josh, if you could please send that link so I can add a hard link to the website for that. Yeah. So that's all I have, honestly. It's just I need that link so I can add that to the site.
Well, as the outgoing chair, I want to say you've been great for us, especially dealing with the website and pretty much everything, facilitating the meetings, man. Um, if it was up to me and it got to where it kind of wasn't, I sure would have to give an award for excellent work. So I want to say that personally. Thank you so much, man. You've done so much.
All right. Thank you.
Anything else, Ian?
Well, I do kind of need like if anyone has like updates to their bios or anything, send those in. I will need to edit like the officers list because we have some adjustments coming in here, including Dr. Berger and Helen and Daniel. So Daniel's going to be added to the site. But other than that, nothing I can think of.
Well, I'm going to be emailing them congratulations and asking them to get in touch with you about that, okay?
All right.
At least that's Dr. Berger and Daniel. Great. So student activities chair is the next report, and we kind of went over that already. Saul and I are probably going to be working with the OSU students first. And one of the things that I'm going to consider, what Dr. Berger and I are considering, is if you see Dr. Gozi and DeVry has all online branch. And so I'm going to see if we can get with him and we make an increased membership that way. So that's student activities chair report. I'll be working with Saul on that also. Next is James, auditor report.
I bumped it. Am I on?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we kind of covered it. I don't know if you can put that sheet up for a second, Ian, that I sent you. Can't see it. Okay. Well, anyway, I come up with a generic, I call it a pre-audit worksheet. It's really to get us out of 2017, 2018, 2019 audits. Once we have the information from the outside auditors, Helen briefly looked at it and thought we were nice and clean. Not quite, Helen. Also, our money runs more around $30,000 to $50,000 a year, depending on the year. So my little sample sheet shows a couple $100 here or there. Anyway, I'll be expanding that once I get the data, fill it in, and hopefully we can move ahead. The odd thing next year's audit 2020, remember I always work in the past, they put Concur in September. So that's going to be kind of an odd item. Supposedly, in 2021, everything will be Concur and should be simplify the collection of data. And that's about all I have tonight. Any questions? Okay, I'm done. Back to you, Carl.
Great. So scroll on down a little bit. I didn't see it pulled up what you were talking about, but that doesn't matter. I'm gonna go ahead and move on.
Ian's got it. He can show it.
What does he need?
The sheet I sent you, Ian.
That's what this is. That's the sheet that I have. Isn't not showing?
No, it's not.
No,
It's still showing the minutes, Ian.
That's still showing the minutes?
Yeah.
Well, that's weird. It's supposed to be showing all right, let's try this. No, not that. Oh. I don't like PDFs.
Well, I'll keep on going. If that pops up, we'll just look at it at that time.
Okay.
That should have been shown on the screen. I don't know why the minutes are showing only.
So Robert
Right.
Watts, section advisor, is he here?
Paused.
I don't think he's here.
Yeah, Robert sent an update. He has a conflict meeting, but he did send a report. I believe your copy and Howard is copied about it.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for when I got caught when he said I'm done.
Yes, and also he did try to tell me that he's working on getting a meeting next week about the bylaws. He attended the National Advisory Board meeting this weekend, and he learned a few things about bylaws. And we still, it seemed that we should at least keep our local bylaws just in case the local area would require that, but it's definitely need to be updated to make sure it's in line with the national bylaws. So hopefully we can have a meeting next week. I know Ben has been asking for that meeting to happen, but he's just been, I guess Bob has just been very, very busy. So that's the update he gave.
Yeah, he has a meeting coming up on the 12th. He has an invitation out with an RSVP. You have to RSVP today or tonight. And this meeting is, I love it because it's Elastic Optical Networks and it's dealing with fiber ops. Go ahead.
Carl, I don't think that notice is out as computer communication distinguished. It's coming from Texas, and he's opened it up for anybody that wanted to. He sent that out as a notice that you can sign up and join for a link to listen to it.
Don't worry, you can do it.
And that's on the 12th.
Right.
That's the one I think you're talking about.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
There's an abstract that deals with fiber ops, and it goes from 10:30 to I found it from 10:30 to about 12:30, and so that's an event that he's participating in and sent out forward to anybody. Anybody that wants that, I can always forward it to them, or I can even just send it to Ian and you can publicize it. What do you think, Ian?
I'm sorry, I got lost there. What was that?
Well, it's today's the last RSVP, so maybe we'll just forego that. I don't really think of it because the night's over almost. So never mind. Jim Watson is not here for the SPACs report. So we go into the affinities. There's no report for SPACs. Affinity societies, attenuation, propagation, and microwave. We were talking about moving that one, but we'll see. Now. And Bob Walston on computer and communications. Anything on that, Bob?
I had a question actually from previous minutes. He said that remember they were going to make the computer communication joint society inactive because they hadn't filed reports. He said when he got it finished, he would let us know. Do we know whether he ever got it finished or not?
He sent it to them, Howard.
Huh?
He sent it to them, and they didn't they didn't get rid of it.
They
Right.
didn't make it inactive.
No, he kept it.
Oh, okay.
Kept the society.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Because I had the same issue. I had some things not quite reported, and at the same time we were go back over some things. I had to put part of Maker X in. Control Society, System Society. I'm working with the site program with the students. You already heard me say that. So the funding that we're getting, we're going to be setting up down at COVID, setting up some PC boards, and we are waiting right now for the CAD drawings with all the specs. So we had the needs and requirements to set up the control systems. We'll deal with mixing, lighting, and the programming for the, and those of you who came to the meeting, understand what I'm talking about, and the watering, and the CVE, which is the Controlled Environmental Agricultural System. All that is going to be dealing with remote controls. So the students, we're talking about in the spring, and as soon as we get all the particular things, we're going to be doing some of that down at the church lab and some of that at COVA, where there's already some processes being prefabbed for the farm, the micro farm. That's a Control Society report, and so I should have 3 or 4 events and maybe 2 workshops this year. Speaking for Dr. Berger, he's bringing in the photonics with the same intent. We're also going to be seeing about doing some power on the fresh farm with solar paneling. So that will be his piece. That society will be working with the IEEE students. Electronic devices, and photonics is Dr. Berger, and that's the report there. Engineering and Medicine and Biology Society, NASA. I'm surprised they didn't talk about them, but I haven't heard from them at all. So we have Schwinn for Power and Engineering Society. How you doing? He was on, maybe he couldn't have stayed.
Hey, Carl, can you hear me?
Great, yes.
Okay. Yeah, some quick updates. So we had our workshop on renewables and energy storage on December 4th. And the workshop lasted from total 4 hours. And we had 304 attendees across the world. Actually, we have like 30% of attendees from outside the United States. So that's a great event. And we have 7 renowned speakers, including AEP CEO Nick Akins. So that workshop went very well. So that was on December 4th. So in addition to that, now we are scheduling another event collaborating with the young professional and also maybe women engineering from Helen Society for a social event next week, next Friday. So Colin is going to lead the effort. So PS is going to become a co-sponsor for that. So that will be our last event for this year. And again, we are also scheduling another event on January next year. So that will be presented by Siemens Research, Siemens R&D department. So they are going to present their R&D effort in Hawaii. So they built a microgrid in Hawaii with solar panels and some battery storage and those kind of things. So they are going to present their project to us next January. And in addition to those, we also awarded 2 engineers as our Outstanding Engineer Award this year. PS Columbus Chapter Outstanding Engineers. One is Mr. Bob Radish, who is our Senior Vice President at AEP. So he's one of the winner. Another winner is Prakash, who is going to become our next PS Chapter Chair starting January 1st, 2021. So he won the Outstanding Young Engineer Award for this year. And also we awarded Daniel. I saw Daniel is here, so we awarded Daniel as Outstanding Volunteer Award for PS Columbus Chapter for 2020. I think Daniel provided a lot of information, a lot of great support to PS Columbus Chapter this year. So I think he definitely deserves this volunteer award. So talking about those 3 awards, so we are going to give like a $50 Amazon gift card for each of those winners. So I hope this committee here can approve this process, can approve this funding. Totally will be $150. And in addition, we are also requesting perhaps another $150. I tried to award our officers for the whole effort they made this year. For we had 8-9 events this year. So our vice chair, our secretary, our treasurer, they all did a good job. So I'm planning to give them like $25 Amazon gift cards for each of them. I think Jared used to do that when he was the chair. So I want to continue this tradition to award all the good work by our chapter chairs, chapter officers. Because as you know, we didn't spend any money this year, and I believe, and Josh and Daniel may correct me, I think we received like $900 from PES, Power Energy Society, and also we have funding from Columbus section, but we haven't used any money this year. So I think we should have enough money to cover the award and the reward for our officers, and also that co-sponsored event with Young Professional Engineering Society on December 18th. So those will be the only costs for this year. I think that's all I have regarding all the efforts and activities. And by the way, I think starting January 1st, Prakash is going to be here, and he's going to, I hope he can represent us to be on those meetings with you guys. I think Prakash is a very active, very passionate engineer as well. He's working at AEP. So I hope you guys can work along very well. And yeah, and I'm going to keep supporting him on all PS activities. So yeah, I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Great job. Do we need a motion for these gift cards, or is it just?
No, Swin, like you said, you have funding from the budget this year, so I mean, you wouldn't even have to use your funding from PES National or the parent organization. So I mean, like nobody's really used much money this year, so I mean, that should just be yeah. I mean, you can go through Concur like that, go buy the cards and go through Concur, and we'll get that approved. I don't think it needs anything else.
I had a question for you too on that, Josh. Does the money carry over to the next year if you don't spend it?
our budget money does not, but but anything they get from outside Columbus chapter, so society-based money, like Dr. Berg gets a lot. There's other antenna and propagation, I think, gets money. They got money last year. That all just kind of goes into a fund, and that was actually on the budget. It didn't work very well, but it was supposed to subtract that money from the total that's in our account, because that's their money, not the section's money.
Right, that belongs to HAC, the Human Activity Committee.
No.
Talking about burgers.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like PES, ESD, antenna propagation, like they don't have their own account. They're just in the spreadsheet. So the money they get from the parent organizations, or the PES national, or ESD national, they keep that money, and that just rolls over from year to year. Like there's a budget in there, and that gets subtracted. That money is supposed to be subtracted from our total account money, because that's theirs. Now the budget money doesn't go into that. We just have it that they use the budget up first from Columbus, and then they start using their other money.
Okay, so that's settled.
Okay.
Yep.
Schwinn, I had a question for you. You said that Colleen is working with you guys. Is she bringing in the young professionals as a joint? Is that what you meant when you said joint?
Yeah, so we are planning a joint event on December 18th, next Friday night.
Okay.
Co-sponsor with the young professional PES and maybe women engineering, depending on if Helen is willing to join us. And Colleen is going to lead that whole event, but we are going to share the fund. I think Colleen is going to buy some I don't know, he has some ideas, maybe a few $100, but I think we can definitely share that fund together. So
Okay.
that will be a social event. Yeah.
Other question was, we have your treasurer now. So is he going to do both, Daniel?
Hey guys. Yeah, I think that was the idea. I know in our last conversation, we were making sure that from a section standpoint, we were okay with that. But yeah, that was a plan.
Congratulations, Daniel. I didn't see you on there.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I was taking care of the kid, trying to give my wife a break for a little bit.
So to go backwards real quick to tie in some dots, you and Josh and Howard, Josh is going to set up a meeting if you guys have time to get some things straight and to possibly get you transitioned in properly.
Yeah, Josh and I were just exchanging some emails 15 minutes ago. So.
Okay, great.
Carl, Ben Miraban.
How you doing there?
Before we leave the PES report, I would like to make a comment, if I may. Dr. Xuan Xu, he coordinated a wonderful seminar workshop on December 4th, as he reported. It was very, very informative seminar. A number of recognized panelists from all over the world were present, and it was a great seminar. Definitely, I mean, I'm sorry to see Xuan is leaving the PES. I mean, he will be the past chair, but definitely for the past 2 years and so forth and so on, he has been a great leader for the PES, and we all have to recognize their effort, enormous effort that he brought to the PES.
Yes, sir.
With that, give him a big applause.
Thank you so much, Dan. But yeah, it's a teamwork, and plus I'm not going to leave PS, so I'm still be visiting PS. I'm the PS Region 2 representative moving forward. but I'm going to leave the Columbus section team here, but I'm just totally focused on PES, national PES kind of things. So as I said, I'm going to keep supporting PES Columbus chapter from another angle, from another perspective. So, but we have Daniel here, so we have enough support from you guys at PES. And thank you so much for your continuous support to us. And trust me, if you continue to support PES will keep delivering a lot of events, good effort, and those kind of things moving forward. So thank you everyone.
So much. Thank you so much, Sean.
Also, Schwinn, 3 years ago when I was vice chair, we went to the regional meeting. I went with Jeff, and they were saying the smart cities was going to be somewhat underneath PES. Have you heard anything like that?
Yes, actually PES has a smart city council, the national PES. But I mean, I think I cannot speak on behalf of Prakash because he's going to become our next chair. But yeah, if Columbus section has a good, strong willingness of setting up that smart grid or smart city kind of things within Columbus section, I think PES should be part of that.
Right.
Right. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, if Helen and
national kind of placed it under PES.
Yes, that's true. We have smart city council within PES. Yes.
So I would like next year we'll be in touch. And where are you going? You staying around?
No,
You're staying around, aren't you?
No, I'm not going anywhere, but I just said I'm going to become the PES Region 2 representative, but Prakash is going to represent us in this team. So I'm going to sit behind the thing. I'm sorry?
I said congratulations on that.
Oh, sure. Thank you.
And looking forward to all of that. I mean, I don't know. I'm getting a passion for IEEE. Because I'm retired, okay? Kinda. Yep. Anyway, thank you for your great report and keeping the section afloat. Seriously.
Thank you.
Seriously, there were some times early in my chair where I was hoping to get anything going, but PES was carrying us. As far as I was concerned, kept us viable. Signal Processing Society, Kerr Young Lee, again, no report. So we have the new society set up that's next, Howard. Are you with me, Howard? Am I moving? Okay. The new society, Solid State Circuits and Systems, and CAS joint societies with Ramey Tontway. I had a conversation with him. I said conversation, but I mean email. And he's getting some things initiated and started up. So he doesn't have a report yet, but he's setting up some things that I guess he's going to be getting with Helen on what's viable and those things, Helen. So I gave him your contact. I told him that you'll be chair from this point on. And okay. So next is the young professionals, which is Colleen, and we just heard at least from Schwinn that she has a joint venture with him. And does anybody like Helen or anybody know anything else about a report that she might have? Schwinn, you said that was on the 14th of December?
That social event will be on December 18th, next Friday.
18th, Howard.
Yeah, 18th.
18th.
Yeah.
So they'll be joint with PES on December 18th, young professionals. So Helen, women in engineering.
Helen is no longer on, but she sent a message in the chat saying she had to drop off for a work meeting, and there was no update on women in engineering except for a social event with PES and young professionals.
Okay, so Howard, Is it all right if when I go into the student branches, to say there is one here, so there's no reports? Or do you want me to go down through them individually?
Just say there's no reports on everybody.
Right, there's no one here. It's Gozi, Dr. Allen, and Dr. Musa, and Dr. Berger, and Colleen, and none of those are here. So to expedite the my last meeting as chair, is there any old business or the new business that anyone wants to bring up? Either or. If not, again, I thank everybody, and I'll probably make every meeting if everything goes right for me wherever I go in the world, because I'm hoping when COVID stops to move abroad a little bit and work with another smart city in another area, probably in Tanzania. But I would like to entertain a motion to adjourn if someone would possibly put it on the floor.
I motion to adjourn, please.
I second.
Thank you, everybody, and have a good, happy holidays for everyone.
You too.
Everyone, and thank you,
Have
Carl.
James and Soul.
Thank you. Take care.
Take care.